excited to get another home SEC game with an early kick at 12. So we're challenging our fans to come out and support us and be there bright and early. We're in constant improvement, and that's the biggest stage we're in right now, working really hard against each other to grow and get better as a team.
Hey, good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
I hope this doesn't sound silly, but I know a lot of your guys are Braves fans and watched the clincher last night. My question is, despite it being two completely different, team sports, are there any lessons your guys can take from what Atlanta had to go through, winning the championship, and apply to what you guys are trying to do?
Well, I think there's always lessons you can learn from other teams in other sports. We try to correlate those when they do and try to give them, messages of perseverance. And I think, baseball's a really long season. It's a lot of games. Our sport's a little different in the number of games, but the physicality is certainly there in ours when it comes to that. So a lot of our guys are Braves fans, and I know they follow them, but our focus right now is really on Missouri and getting ready for them. But where we can use lessons like that, we always try to.
Hey, Kirby, you obviously had some nice things to say about Mark Richt last night. I was just kind of curious, you've seen cases across the country when a coach is let go of a job that he wants to be in, there can be an awkwardness with that university and that school. What has led to such a smooth transition with this relationship? I mean, was it the fact that y'all were together? Because, obviously in 2017, he's at Miami, but he was firing off congratulatory tweets all year about your season in that national championship game.
Yeah, I think the cohesiveness is about just having class, and both the University of Georgia and Coach Richt have that, and just tremendous respect for each other. And a lot of those decisions and things that are made at the time they pass over time, and the history and tradition that he helped build here was tremendous. And I think that no better documentation of that than the players that played for him. So any chance you get to honor somebody that's affected this university the way he has, I think you do that.
And then you had so many years under Nick. What about that 05 season under Mark? What would you say you kind of took away, that kind of helped mold you to where you are today?
Just a lot about the game of football, learning the management of it. I was a young coach then. I'd only really been a GA for 2, full-time coach for 3, and a lot about recruiting, a lot about relationships, and his Coach Richt's demeanor and leading up the team and things like that. So that was a valuable year, probably most because I was on the other side of the ball. Well, no, when you talk about handoff around the clock, it depends on who you're playing and what the situation is. You're playing to win the game, right? So you have to be careful between when you're working development versus when you're trying to win the game and do the best thing for your team. And there's both. And we balance that as a staff. We talk about it as a staff. We talk about it before the game because you never know what's going to happen during the game. You like to have all those decisions already made. And games change. They're fluid. So we talk on the headphones and we make the best decision for what we need to work on versus do we need to get out of the game? Do these guys need work? Who needs work? And you always make that based on a set of circumstances.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, Chuck summed up pretty well. Yes, you look at, and I know Nick Saban always has great assistants, but that 2015 team, along with Coach Saban, the other top 4 playoff teams are all assistants like yourself in that 2015 team. And Lane Kiffin and Billy Napier were having real good years. We're on that staff. Just wondering how good a staff that was, and just what do you think about 5 assistants from one team being head coaches and all being ranked in the top 25, and 3 of you having top 4 teams along with Nick Saban?
I don't. It's probably not a coincidence. I think a lot of it comes from where are you coaching at, how fertile recruiting area is it. When you win, when you win, you have people on your staff to get jobs. So number one, you got to recruit well and you got to win to get that opportunity. But when that happens, they usually get good opportunities. So a lot of the guys you're referencing are at really well-established universities that have an opportunity to recruit well and be successful, and their administration support them at those places. a lot of teams out there that have people from the Alabama staff. I think if you did a study, there would be somebody almost on every staff that had been at one time or another overlapped because a lot of guys overlap over time.
Kirby, I was going to ask you along the lines of what Anthony was asking you earlier. Did you have to push back any meetings this morning after the Braves win last night? I figured Todd Hartley might have still been celebrating, and I need more info on this invitation you made on Twitter to this mascot blooper.
Excuse me again?
You don't understand anything?
You asked about something about the Braves game. I went in and out. I couldn't hear you.
I was asking about the excitement around your program with the Braves winning last night. I know Hartley is a big Braves fan, and was it business as usual this morning with your meetings? And then I saw on your Twitter account you had invited the Braves mascot to the game on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. I think that's get more people there, right? You want to get as many as you can there at noon as you can. But Hartley's a big Braves fan. A lot of our guys are Braves fans, but we were working on Missouri last night like we always are. So that was the phones were blowing up with excitement every time somebody did something. I think when the home runs were hit. But we were, I know, 9:30, 10 o'clock up here working on third down and red area, which we do on all Tuesdays.
I also want to ask you, how far along is Darnell Washington in terms of being close to 100%? And how about Arian Smith? How is he coming along?
They're both really doing well. Darnell's foot's almost fully recovered. I don't know, but his stamina continues to improve and being able to play snaps and do things. He's done a nice job pushing through. I think he's gotten